Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the second instalment of An Otherwise Quiet Room, the Merri Creek sessions. I had a look at the first one, which was posted online yesterday, and it looks great, and we're really proud and pleased to be associated with something of such quality. So, by way of introduction tonight, we've got Benny Walker, who's a Yorta man, and I think rather than sort of read a by rote welcome to country, I might just tell you a little bit about the origin of the venue's name and how we came to be here. And my name's Mick Thomas. Out there's Mark Garnett, who runs the bar. He's one of the partners, and there's a third partner, Greg Clenchins, and we all worked at the Yarra Hotel, and we finished up there a few years ago, and we decided we wanted to come up this way, and we wanted something around this area, and we were looking for a name, and we thought, well, what flows out of the Yarra? And we thought the Merri Creek. And so that was the initial reason we grabbed the name. But on further investigation, we found that the name comes from the local Cullen people, the indigenous tribes that inhabited the area, and that Merri means rocks, and it means the creek of rocks. And in the way of a lot of Aboriginal languages, rather than have a superlative or a pronoun, they just use the word twice to mean many. So many rocks, Merri means many rocks, so I thought that was another good pun. So as well as being a merry place in the English vernacular, hopefully, it's a place that rocks, so we were pretty happy about that as well. So without further ado, I'll introduce you to Mandy Connell, and she's going to be up here talking with Benny in this venue down here by the Merri Creek. So, yeah, I hope it rocks. See ya.
Oh my. Hi guys, how you going? Thanks for coming. I'm so excited. I'm really, really happy that you're here. So let's start off with a round of applause for you all for showing up. I'd also like to acknowledge the traditional caretakers and owners of the country that we're on. It's an important thing, and it's not something I've done very well in the past, and I'm learning, as I hope that we all learn to do. So, yeah. All right. So this is Benny Walker.
Hello. Thank you for coming.
I think it was maybe 18 months ago or a year ago I first asked you to join An Otherwise Quiet Room. And I know that I could have done it better. I was just talking to Ms. Vincent earlier about the things that you learn. The first thing I did was to reach out via Facebook Messenger to Benny Walker's Facebook page and then leave it like that. It's not really how you book an artist for an event like this. And then I grew up a bit and we did a few seasons, and I'm very, very blessed to have been able to work with people like Agostino Soldati on cameras, Misha Herman on sound, who's here, and Bob Hutchison over here on second camera. And I grew up a little bit, and then I emailed.
Well played.
Yeah, thanks.
And here I am.
Ta-da!
Worked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you use the right technology, they will come.
That's it. Can I, before we do any more, if you're on a stool, just want to come over here? Because there's always the semicircle of death. It's the Melbourne Horseshoe. I didn't want to go. There we go. Nice work.
Oh,
and if
you.
you're behind them standing, now you can all just... Yeah, this is lovely. Thank you very much. Look at this. Don't be scared. I've showered and deodorized for the gig, so you can get nice and close if you want to.
So Benny's made a big trip out here, and I know that there's a few missions on the calendar for this trip, but I'm really pleased that you're here. And I think that for An Otherwise Quiet Room listeners and watchers, could you please give us a song to introduce yourself?
Absolutely. I'm going to play something new. So I've just finished recording a new album, and this is the first time I've played it live, so wish me luck. sure that you learn maybe the hard way. So take everything that you think you need. If you want it, you got it. And take all my plans, put them in your hands. If you want it, you got it. 'Cause all that is right will be proven in time. All that is right can be yours. 'Cause all that is right will be proven in time. All that is right can be yours. So take everything that you think you need. If you want it, you got it. And take all my plans, put them in your hands. If you want it, you got it. Thank you.
Didn't want to breathe just in case I ruined it. Wow. Brand new.
Brand new, yeah. It's the first time I've played it live. So I was nervous to say the least. It's the first time I've recorded piano on an album too. So it was that one's a step in a few new directions.
So that's coming out on the new record?
Yeah, it's gonna be on the new album that I've recorded. I just spent a month, all of June, pretty much tucked away, which my wife was pretty happy about, I'm sure, with leaving 2 kids at home.
Oh. So I guess the band's heard it then.
The band's heard it. I had my rhythm section come and play on it. They'd come every Tuesday, basically, and lay down 4 songs, and then the producer and I would spend the rest of the week through to the Monday working on the 4 songs, and get them back on Tuesday again. And yeah, so they have heard it and played on it, and yeah.
And they're coming out with you in September to Melbourne?
Yeah, so...
Is it the 17th? Is it September 17th? Sounds right.
Sounds right.
It's definitely in September.
Yeah.
And the Northcote Social Club.
Doing the Social Club. I'm putting out a new single in August off the album, and I'm going to do a full band show there, which is going to be really cool, and play probably a few new songs. I'm really, really itching to play them. I'm sure I should probably wait, but, you know, I do so many gigs, it's nice to have fresh stuff to play. And
Could we call tonight a sneak peek?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, it's nice to be getting up here and having that nervous energy is really good. It keeps you on your toes, because yeah, it's been a while since I've got up and actually had like the elevated heart rate and the slightly shaky hands, so it was nice to
It's my
feel.
superpower. I make people nervous.
It is. And the good-looking people in the audience.
Well, you know. Try not to mention them though, because, you know, otherwise they'll know we know. And
Yeah,
it's
that's
just-
right.
it's
Yeah, don't want
terrible.
to start a thing.
Yeah. So tell me about the band. I know that you can play a whole lot of the parts on the album yourself, but obviously when you tour,
Yeah.
that's not always the case. And
Yeah.
your rhythm section, you're pretty tight with those guys.
Yeah, so I've got Danny McKenna on drums, who's probably my favourite drummer in
You guys are
Australia.
allowed to applaud. If we mention a name you like, you
Yeah.
can shout out. So
Yeah.
we've got Danny McKenna on drums.
Yeah. I'll introduce the band. Yeah. So Danny, I saw him first play with Jeff Lang years ago, and I'm a massive Jeff Lang fan. Yeah, and
Yep.
many are. And him and Danny McKenna and Grant Comerford played at the Echuca Winter Blues Festival years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm
Dream
from
team.
Echuca, yeah. So watching those three was just mind blowing. And then saw them play again at Woodford, I think the same year. And then I became obsessed with Danny's drumming. And one day my drummer at the time couldn't make a recording session, so I called Danny, and Danny said yes. And then agreed to do a few gigs. So that's what happens. You snooze, you lose sometimes. You can't make it to the recording session, you lose your job.
Oh, no.
Which makes me look like an asshole, but you know, I got the drummer of my dreams in my band. So sometimes you have to be an asshole to get what you want, people.
So did you also snag Grant Comerford?
No, I didn't snag Grant. I have another amazing bass player named Anthony Liddell. He's Anthony Liddell. All you people out there, all you Anthony Liddell fans. He comes with a pretty amazing CV as well. He's played with Kimbra and some other pretty phenomenal artists, and he's just got this deep groove. And him and Danny come from very different places musically, but to put them together, it's this really unique groove and this really unique feel. And that's the reason. That's what kind of drove what's going to be the single, is just the way they played on it. It just brought it so much to life, and then that dictated the way I approached it. You know, even though I'd already written it, it kind of changed my approach in the way I play guitar. Then the overdub I did on the guitar, and then that gave more energy to the voice, and then it just became this like kind of whole different beast. I already liked the song, but then I just head over heels once those guys did their thing.
Fantastic. You must be so stoked to have finished the project and excited about it.
Yeah.
It's a kind of limbo, I think, when you've created an album or created a baby. You know, it's this creation of hard work and blood and sweat and tears and just sheer terrifying anxiety. And then it's ready to go, but you can't share it yet. You have to wait for the appropriate date.
Yeah, that's it. It's for me, it's still at that place where I'm still like, I'll be driving, and I was like, oh, chuck a song, because it's still fresh for me. Like after a while, obviously, I hear them so much and play them so much that you don't get to a point where you just don't listen to the albums anymore. But yeah, at the moment, it's still that place where I just wish I could like just put it on now and let you hear it, kind of thing, because I just really love it. So, but I can't do that.
No. But you can play us a song.
I can do that. could tell, looking at my face, I'm missing you. Do you need me too? Don't walk away. Stay in my arms. Tossing all this pain. So stay in my arms. Don't walk away. Stay in my arms. Thank you.
I don't get to sing songs like that very often. It's pretty cool. The things that you've released, the single "I Don't Blame You,"
Yes.
is just phenomenal, and to be able to get away with singing harmonies for Benny Walker is a pretty special deal. I cannot recommend it highly enough. What are your influences, man?
Ooh, I have lots. Probably like a lot of singer-songwriters. I grew up listening to probably more like my mum. My dad was a musician in the house, but I really enjoyed my mum's taste in music probably a bit more. Like she was into like James Taylor and J.J. Cale, Neil Young, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young. Even oh man, I'll come back to who I'm thinking of. I even have the record cover in my head at the moment. But anyway, so there was all that singer-songwriter stuff from that era, and then Dad kind of led me down the path of blues guitar playing and stuff. So a lot of blues influences the way I play guitar, and a lot of the time when I write too, because I suppose it's where a lot of music comes from too, the blues. So I think that's okay to be influenced by that. But there's a lot of singer-songwriters now too that I really, really love. But they're probably reminiscent of some of those old guys anyway. So like Ray LaMontagne and is a big influence, and Ryan Adams. I love some of his stuff. But then put it all in the then like you go through high school and you listen to like heavy stuff and punk stuff, and like I played in like a metal band in high school. As you can clearly see that influence now. But now my brother and I were just talking about it yesterday, like some of the
Trying to picture you in like a Slipknot t-shirt.
I had dreadlocks as well. Yeah. Slipknot t-shirt, baggy jeans, probably Vans or something like that. But I'm under no obligation to be who I was 5 minutes ago. So.
No, none of us are. I hope sincerely.
Yeah, so I've just always just listened to and played the stuff that I was into at the time, and what happens is I'll find stuff I really like and listen to it so much that it just embeds itself in me. And then I'll move on and be listening to other things, and then I'll start writing, and I start to hear it myself where the influence and the inspirations come from, and basically just try not to let other people know that you've ripped somebody else off most of the time, because that's kind of all. It's like everything's to a point kind of been done. There's only so many notes and so many chords and so many words and so many things that rhyme or whatever. So it's just trying to do it in a way that's just not a total rip off a lot of the time.
I was researching for a songwriting workshop that I taught at a festival recently, and I found all of these famous quotes from amazing artists, and they were all about how great art is stealing and not letting anybody know that you've
well, that's the kind
stealing
of
well.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. I guess it's just steal well enough that it looks like your own.
And you, I know that you've done a lot of work on songwriting projects with groups like through APRA, for instance.
Yep.
Do you spend a lot of time on technique after those events?
No, not really.
You don't.
No,
sit
what
down
I
and
do, like I've done a lot of co-writing, and
Oh, really?
what I do, no, yeah, I'd love to.
It's on camera now, so you can't
That's
get out of
right.
it.
Room full of people waiting for me.
Sorry.
That's fine. No, I'm totally down for it. But what I always walk away with is new tools when I've written with other people, because everyone has a bit of a different approach to it. And that's the good thing about writing with great songwriters too. Like I'll get to observe them when we get to a little roadblock, what they would do, whereas I would maybe go in a different direction. Sometimes mine works in the moment, but if that doesn't, then they'll go, well, what about this? And then when I go back to write on my own, I find that I have a few extra tools. Once again, just taking other people's ideas and approaches and applying it in different situations. And then when I go to another co-write, then I'm bringing this slightly bigger toolbox along, and they have theirs, and we try and build a song. Yeah, so not so much changing my technique. I don't know what a songwriting technique is. It's just, for me, I find some chords that I like the sound of, then I start humming a melody that I think sounds cool, and then a first line kind of drops out of my mouth, and I go, oh, that was good, or that was shit, and then go from there. That's how you write a song, folks. But I hope that didn't dumb it down too much, but it's seriously guesswork most of the time.
There's a lot of people out there who are really obsessive about collecting the information on every artist and how they write their songs. I'm not quite that forensic in my fandom. But I did start a project with a woman called Karen Fields. Anyone know her? Yeah. Karen's a great mate, and she challenged me to write 14 songs in 14 days. So we swapped a song every day for 14 days, which meant I often had 20 minutes to come up with something. The rule was, even if it was shite, you had to submit it. Are we both on? Did I press all the buttons?
Yeah, I think so.
Good, awesome.
Can you hear both guitars?
Yeah.
Good.
All right.
Half an acre is all you need. We can grow enough to feed you and me. Keep our own company, living on okra and casserole.
Muddy waters on the radio. You keep a candle on the old pine table. I keep a crystal in the sash window, living on okra and casserole.
Spinach and beans,
Time with the models.
no hocus pocus, never need another. Happiness is growing in this small town villa, living on okra and casserole. Stone fruit and citrus, raspberry pie,
Rhubarb and custard in paradise.
no hocus pocus, you don't have to try. Living on okra and casserole. Half an acre is all you need. We can grow enough to feed you and me. We can keep our own company, living on okra and casserole. Living on okra and casserole.
Mandy, everybody. Because okra and casserole, because the zucchini didn't fit. It's all about finding the right word.
We've been deciding though that we might remake it and to have a verse that's about Oprah and sausage rolls.
It was funny at soundcheck.
Yeah. I still think it's funny.
Me too. Me too.
I think it's hilarious. So you're from Echuca, and that's where you live now. But
Yep.
that's where you were born as well.
That's where I was born. I grew up there, did all my schooling, and played all sport and in bands and everything like that, and
And then
swam in the river.
ran away to Melbourne.
Yeah, after high school, moved to Melbourne, and wanted to live the big city life, and just basically got myself a lot more uptight. That's all that happened when I moved here. So 5 years later, I moved back to the country, and yeah, I've really been enjoying that. But it's nice just to come into the city for the things I need to do or want to do, because I just can't do traffic. It drives me insane. So,
I hear you. I just moved to Castlemaine. I'm very excited about it. Peak hour in Castlemaine is not comparable to Northcote.
Yeah, good thing about Echuca, everything's 10 minutes away. So, yeah. My mother and father-in-law live on the other side of town, and that's, literally, I think it's 7 minutes to get there. So it works well. That's actually in a state, because I'm in Moama.
I know you're excited about going back because you're heading back to the local football club to celebrate Archie Walker Day.
Yeah, so my brother, after he finished, anyone doesn't know, my brother played AFL for 13 years, and then once he retired, he moved back home as well, and he's now coaching and playing at the local footy club. And our grandfather passed away in February. His name was Archie Walker, and so what my brothers started last year was the first Indigenous round, which was just Echuca verse the Seymour, I think, at the time, and that was the first Indigenous round in the GV, and a lot of country footy leagues still don't do it.
I'm just gonna stop you there for the ingenue. What's a GV?
Oh, sorry, the Goulburn Valley Football League. Sorry, yeah, I don't get out of Echuca all that often, maybe.
I actually thought it was a complex football term.
Yeah, right. No, a GV is a Goulburn Valley.
Right.
Yeah.
Good. Nice to know.
So he started trying to get the Indigenous round off the ground for the GV Footy League, Goulburn Valley Football League, last year, and then between then and now, our grandfather passed away. That's our grandfather on our Aboriginal side of our family, and all of us just thought the absolute world of him, and he's the epitome of an absolute gentleman, and just the man that I aspire to be, and my brother as well. I know that, and so yeah, we decided that we would call it the Archie Walker Indigenous Round this week, and so I'm going to head up there and head back home, and I'm going to do a performance at half time, and it's the two top teams playing, and it's also a Echuca Winter Blues weekend, and we've got
let's try that again. It's a Echuca Winter Blues weekend.
as well, so if anyone is looking for something to do this weekend, Echuca Moment Tourism is going to love me. And then hope so.
I think that quiet voice that you may or may not have picked up on the microphones was someone saying, "I think they already do," and that's from the group of fans who showed up in Benny Walker colours with the T-shirt at very early. You guys are now my official Otherwise Quiet Room favourites, and you will be welcome at any of our shows.
Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, but Echuca Moama Winter Festival, all of the Echuca festivals obviously are a bit in love with you, and I can see why, and I really want to say thank you for coming here. But
pleasure.
if you'd like to come to any more of the shows, we have Sally Dasty as our next guest on August 29th, right here in the Merri Creek Tavern, and that'll be number 3 of the Merri Creek Tavern sessions. And of course, we have lots of published episodes online, which are available for free because apparently I am not a capitalist. Thank you so much for coming. Could you please give each other and our crew a round of applause again for showing up?
I thought we'd do a cover of Warumpi Band's Black Fella, White Fella. All right. Be ready to sing.
White fella, it doesn't matter what your color, as long as you a true fella, as long as you a real fella. All the people, different races, with different lives, different places. It doesn't matter what your name is. We got to have lots of changes. We need more brothers if we're to make it. We need more sisters if we're to save it. And you're the one who's gonna stand up and be counted. And you're the one who's gonna be there when we shout it. And you're the one who is ready with a helping hand. One who understands his family plans.
Black fella, white fella, yellow fella, any fella, doesn't matter what your color, as long as you a true fella. All the people, the different races, different names, different places. Doesn't matter which religion.
We need more brothers if we're to make it. We need more sisters if we're to save it. And you're the one who's gonna stand up and be counted. And you're the one who's gonna be there when we shout it. And you're the one who's always ready with a helping hand. And you're the one who understands these family plans. Stand up and be counted.
You gotta sing here.
Stand up and be counted. And you're the one who's gonna be there when we shout it. And you're the one who's gonna stand up and be counted. And you're the one who's always ready with a helping hand. And you're the one who understands these family plans. All right, ready? Stand up and be counted. Stand up and be counted. Just you. Stand up and be counted. Stand up and be counted. One more. Stand up and be counted.
Thank you very much for singing along.
Ladies and gentlemen, please thank Agostino Soldati on film, Bob Hutchison on the cameras, Misha Herman on sound. Please thank Mick and Mark and the Merri Creek Tavern for having us. There's a whole team, there's too many people to name everyone, but lastly, I've been your host, Mandy Connell, and could you please thank the amazing and wonderful Benny Walker.
From the bustle of the airport traffic, I can read it in the paper now. They're taking all the half-caste children from the towns where they're not allowed. Like the rating of an adult movie, nobody's allowed to walk